The bottle stopped spinning directly between us, and before anyone could laugh, my ex leaned forward with a crooked smile and said, "I dare you to kiss me." Every voice in the room disappeared. 10 pairs of eyes locked onto me, waiting. What happened over the next few minutes unraveled a secret neither of us had planned to reveal, and by sunrise, nothing in our lives would ever be the same. If you've ever wondered whether one small decision can rewrite an entire future, this story is for you. Sometimes love doesn't end because people stop caring. Sometimes it ends because fear speaks louder than the heart. Tonight's story is about unfinished conversations, unexpected courage, and a second chance that arrived in the most embarrassing way imaginable. Before we begin, if you enjoy emotional and inspiring stories like this, make sure to support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories of kindness, hope, and humanity. I hadn't seen Emily in almost 3 years. Not since the rainy afternoon we packed our shared apartment into separate boxes and promised each other we would eventually explain everything. We never did. She moved across the state for work. I buried myself in long hours at the architecture firm. Time passed, birthdays came and went, and mutual friends slowly stopped mentioning either of us in the same conversation. When my college friend Ryan invited me to his engagement party, I expected laughter, music, and familiar faces. I didn't expect Emily to open the front door. She froze. I froze. For a long second neither of us spoke. Ryan looked between us with an awkward grin. Surprise. Emily finally smiled politely. "Hi, Daniel." "Hi." That single word carried years of memories. The party continued around us, but every conversation felt distant. She laughed with friends, yet every now and then I caught her glancing toward me. I wasn't sure whether I imagined it or desperately wanted to. Later that evening someone suggested party games. "Truth or dare?" Ryan shouted. Groans mixed with cheers, but everyone joined anyway. The bottle spun from person to person, creating harmless dares and embarrassing confessions. Someone sang karaoke. Another guest danced on a chair. Everyone relaxed. Then fate decided to entertain itself. The bottle pointed directly at Emily. She chose dare without hesitation. Our friend Mia grinned mischievously. "I dare you to kiss the person you regret losing the most." The room exploded with teasing laughter. Emily didn't laugh. Instead, she looked straight at me. "I'll change it," Mia said quickly, realizing what she'd done. Emily shook her head. "No." She stood up slowly and walked toward me. Every heartbeat sounded louder than the music. She stopped only inches away. "My dare," she whispered softly enough that only I could hear, "is for you to decide if our story really ended." Then, louder for everyone else, she smiled. "I dare you to kiss me." Nobody breathed. 3 years earlier I would have kissed her without thinking. Now every memory rushed back at once. The night we met at a bookstore. Weekend road trips with terrible playlists. Her habit of stealing fries from my plate. The argument that ended everything. Not because we stopped loving each other. Because I received a dream job overseas and assumed she would never leave her sick mother behind. Instead of asking, I made the decision for both of us. She called it abandonment. I called it sacrifice. Neither of us admitted we were simply afraid. Ryan quietly turned the music down. "You don't have to," someone murmured. Emily never looked away. "I won't be angry," she said gently. "I just need an honest answer." I stood. "I owe you more than an answer." The room became completely silent. "I never stopped loving you." Gasps echoed around us. Emily blinked rapidly. "Then why did you leave?" "Because your mom needed you. My job needed me. I thought choosing my dream meant asking you to give up yours. You never asked." "I know." "And I waited," she whispered. 4 weeks. My chest tightened. "I wrote letters," I admitted. Her eyebrows lifted. "What?" "I wrote one every month after I left." She looked genuinely confused. "I never got any. They all came back unopened." Her face lost all color. "My address never changed." We stared at each other. Someone quietly asked, then who returned them? Emily suddenly reached into her purse. I should probably tell you something. She unfolded an old envelope. My handwriting covered the front. I recognized it instantly. How do you have that? It arrived last week. What? My mother confessed she intercepted every letter. The room fell silent again. She believed long-distance relationships always failed. She thought if enough time passed, we'd both move on. I couldn't speak. Emily's eyes filled with tears. She kept every letter hidden in a box. She handed me the envelope. Inside was my own handwriting. Every word I had poured onto paper after sleepless nights. Every apology. Every confession. Every hope. I found dozens of them, she whispered. I thought you hated me. And I thought you forgot me. Neither of us noticed that everyone else had quietly stepped outside onto the patio, giving us privacy. Ryan gently closed the sliding door behind him. Now it was only us. Emily laughed through tears. This has to be the worst communication failure in history. I smiled despite the ache in my chest. I can probably design buildings better than relationships. You definitely can. We both laughed. The tension that had lived between us for years began dissolving. I read every letter, she said softly. All of them. She nodded. I finally understood why you left. I was still wrong. So was I. We stood there, surrounded by half-empty cups, forgotten balloons, and music barely audible from the speakers. Can I ask you something, she said. Anything. If nobody had dared me tonight, would you have talked to me? I answered honestly. I would have spent the entire night pretending I didn't still love you. She smiled. That would have been incredibly stupid. I know. So. She stepped closer again. Does my dare still stand? This time I didn't hesitate. I gently placed my hand against her cheek. Only if it's no longer a dare. She closed the final inch between us. Our kiss wasn't dramatic. It wasn't perfect. It was quiet. Gentle. Full of everything we had never managed to say. Outside, our friends erupted into cheers after seeing us through the window. We both laughed so hard we had to pull apart. For the first time in years, the future didn't feel frightening. It felt possible.